So why I look at Bitcoin as something that I want to store some of my wealth in, and I don't have wealth, some of my money in. And, I look back and I'm like, there was gold, there was tangible gold, and everybody's like, it's digital gold. And you really have to go through an educational process to fully understand that. But just to do a summarization to get people to kind of understand why I think it is okay to buy right now and why I would encourage you to buy right now is there was gold and it was tangible. You could hold it in your hands, right? And then they created this ETF. And this ETF gold, which a lot of people were like, it's hard to own gold. It's hard to store gold. You can't, move around with too much gold. And so they created this, ETF, these gold ETFs, and you could put money in it. And then people are like, yeah, I own gold because you've invested in gold. But the reality of it is that gold is about a 10-to-1 ratio. So meaning 10 people own that gold supposedly in the ETF. And there isn't enough to pay everybody out. Everybody would be like, oh, I'm going to cash my investment or my money out in this gold ETF into cash. It's not there. But what I think is important to understand about that is that it was a way to give people access to gold without allowing us to own it. So it's a win-win. They still get to own the gold. They still get to hold it in their assets and in their reserves. And we believe that we do. Now, why I think that Bitcoin is so important, and people are like, oh, it's going to go away, the government's going to regulate it, whatever. They created an ETF, big business and all of that. It was passed. There is a Bitcoin ETF. Now, why is that important? Because when they created to me, this is my opinion, when they created the gold ETF, it was their way of saying, hey, you can own it, giving the illusion that we could own this tangible asset. And a lot of people took the opportunity because it was easier to do it that way. Now, when you've passed and you've regulated now the ability to do ETFs with Bitcoin, and you can do it this way, I feel like Bitcoin is not going to go away. I don't feel like it's going, there is going to be regulation, but I think the way that they're trying to control it is if they make it extremely easy for us to own, like on these ETFs, just like they did with gold. That's the thing, just like they did with gold. So when people aren't wanting to put money in it, it's like people do it for gold, like on an ETF or with an ETF or however you want to word that. And I think the correlation is so big because I think the way that they're going to try to regulate it, or what they're trying to do, is be like, hey, look how easy we've made it. It's another way to kind of, do an investment into gold, but it's safer, it's more secure. We're going to take care of it for you. Own this ETF. And I think it's going to be another situation where more people are going to own an ETF in Bitcoin and not actually own the asset. And, but I think it benefits the people that actually own it. If you were to actually buy it from like Swan or wherever you want to buy it from and download it onto like a cold storage wallet, I think that's the benefit. Because just like if you were to go own gold and you have it in your safe, you own that piece of value. Like, you're not invested in it, you own it. And to me, there's a huge difference in that, especially in today's economy and with the way things are going. It's a Ponzi scheme, people. It's all a game. Figure out the angle, figure out the game, and then figure out the angle that you want to apply to it. But all of this has been smoke and mirrors. Our food, our health system, the government. I mean, it's just insane, and it's on such a global scale. But I think that because there is this ETF of Bitcoin, you can play it towards your favor and own it. Own it just like you would gold or silver. Allocate to it a little bit. I mean, for the average person, like, that doesn't have a lot of money, which is more of the population that isn't, why would you not take it? It's like me and my wife were talking to our daughter, and we were trying to talk to her about, taking a risk or an opportunity or a chance. There's a lot of different things that you can do with your money out there. You buy coffee every day, you spend it on stuff that you're trying to make yourself temporarily happy. Drip into it. There's tons of exchanges to do it. I'd recommend Swan. Buy it and build up and download it onto a cold storage. Again, do the research so you know what makes you feel safer. But I think with this Bitcoin ETF, it is the exact same situation that we're looking at with a gold ETF. I wouldn't invest in it on an ETF. I would grab some and own it on your tangible being. And that's just my advice from what I'm learning and my research that I've done. And that's what I'm currently doing. It's going to go on a cold storage, and I'm going to ride it out. I'm going to continue to buy more and continue to store it, and we'll see where the ride takes us. Take care.